Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm going to do another kind of quickish video about regarding nitrous oxide. My last video, actually, I've already gotten quite a few comments, which is super awesome. I really appreciate everyone that comments and everyone that watches. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe if you're not. And especially please comment. Like, I really love reading everyone's comments and responding to them as best as I can. But yeah, so this video is a response to two comments that I got yesterday regarding my video talking about Lamet's sign, which is a condition, or I guess a test that can demonstrate nerve damage in the especially in the spinal column. And I had two separate people ask me not the exact same question, but kind of roughly similar in terms of like the impurities in nitrous oxide. Like one asked is it possible that there's anything else in the nitrous, like the gas, that might have harmed you? As far as I know, the nerve damage strictly came from the nitrous oxide, just because it activates the vitamin B12, and that causes a disturbance in your body's metabolism, and it can't maintain your nerve, the insulation around your nerves, the myelination. So I don't think that really did, but I do want to kind of talk, because the other person asked about there's a black sludge. So I guess I'll give a kind of I'm trying to think of the word, a warning or forewarning. My experience is only applies to the 8-gram nitrous oxide cartridges, like Whippet brand and all the other cheaper knockoff brands. I've never gotten like the tanks, whether that's like the big old dentist tank, or I've seen like in some stores, like they sell like, I don't know the weight or how much it is exactly, but like I've seen like smaller tanks of it. But I've only used the small cartridges. I believe they're 8 grams, or like roughly around that size. Also, for most of my use, I would crack each cartridge into the dispenser and inhale directly from the dispenser, like whipped cream dispenser. I very rarely used a balloon. And I have used the hand crackers a few times with the balloons, but for my level of abuse, that just wasn't fast enough. It was just way easier and quicker to just use the dispenser and inhale it directly from the dispenser. But the reason why I bring that up, and kind of what that one person had asked, is and I'm sure again, if you have a similar experience, please, I would love to hear about it, and I'm sure others would too, because there's just not much info out there. But I'm sure others have experiences where you go through quite a few cartridges, let's say like, I don't know, like a few hundred, especially like getting into like the thousands. Now, whether that's in a short period of time, like a day or like a few days or a week, or I guess I can't really speak to like occasional use, like like maybe once a month or like twice a month over time. But I assume it's about the same, because I just don't think it would be any different. I just want to make that distinction anyways. But either way, you go through enough cartridges and you open up the dispenser and there's like black sludge. It's so fucking disgusting. I can even still like feel the like taste and like just the grossness of it, especially like after doing enough, your mouth kind of starts to feel greasy. because of the old. Well, so with the black sludge, my understanding is that it is leftover machining oil. So I don't know the exact manufacturing process of the cartridges, but I assume that, like pretty much any machine, it needs to be lubricated with oil for it to, function consistently and properly. So I believe that that residue, that sludge, is leftover machining oil, and the reason why it's black, again, my understanding, is because there's essentially microscopic metal fragments in there, which again makes sense because if you think about it, like with the machining, they're, I don't know if they use aluminum. I would no, actually, I think they use like iron or something because I've seen like whippets in an aluminum cartridge, like it was newer and more expensive. Or maybe it was more, I don't know. Either way, like whatever metal that they use, I would assume that in the process, like, some of it kind of just wears off, especially on a microscopic level. So I believe that black sludge is just a combination of just the machining oil and then those black fragments. Yeah, again, I'm sure at least one other person watching this can relate to just like open up the dispenser and it's just like caked, especially like if right after you've if you've been buying like the cheaper brands. I don't know, I really can't say quantitatively, but in my experience, and anecdotally, the Whippet brand, those would be like the cleanest, or there's a few others that like on Amazon that you could buy that I felt were a little cleaner versus like other ones which seem to be more contaminated, I guess, if you want to call it that way. But regardless, any of them over time, just builds up. And then, like I was saying, like if you had just gone through a session of like several hundred, or maybe like 1,000 or two, and open it up, the sludge is like kind of frozen still, or it's like more solid and just caked on all on the inside of the dispenser, and then on the in the the canister, and you could just pour it out, and it just smells disgusting and just So I don't know. I just figured kind of an interesting video to make because one of those things that I don't know, maybe some people that are using nitrous oxide don't really think about or like realize or pay too much attention to. I would strongly encourage and recommend to everyone watching this video to not do nitrous, whether that's starting for the first time or continuing your use. Like nitrous with pretty much every other substance, when done in abuse, is just so destructive, and it's such a poor coping mechanism. In the moment, it could be a pretty instant fix. It's like, oh, I'm depressed or I'm anxious, let's get high. But long term, yeah, it just totally messes things up. But, I know some people are still going to want to continue. So my suggestion then, I'll share what I would do. Usually what I would do is I would get like an old shirt or something, or like old underwear. I know it sounds gross. Clean clothes. Not like previously worn boxers, but some sort of cloth, and then cut like 3 to 4 squares, and I would kind of layer them, so like one like this way with the cloth, like fabric going this way, one going this way, one going this way, and then one going that way. And then those 4 I would put over the tip of the dispenser. Oh, sorry guys, that's that's my add-on on Chrome telling me there's new prolific studies to do. So I apologize, I forgot to turn that off. But yeah, with the 3 to 4, put it over the dispenser tip grab some rubber bands, rubber band it pretty well. And then I would also get duct tape and then tape it, just because I wanted as little loss of the gas as possible. What I would do previously is I would just kind of just like have like a cloth like just loosely over it and just put the whole thing in my mouth and but I found it was better to just kind of do that in advance. Yeah, it's disgusting because it's like, I know that's not stopping all of that shit getting into your lungs. And, you know, if you used a lighter colored cloth, usually I would use white, because over time that would also build up and would start becoming like black. And that's when I knew, like, hey, I should probably replace this. So, I feel like that's like a slight harm reduction in terms of the impurities of the nitrous oxide cartridges. But you're still inhaling you know, a good amount of that. And then one person asked too, is like, you know, how does the body get rid of it? That's a really great question. I don't know, like, I can't say for sure, but I would assume like any other, you know, contamination of the lungs, like tar from a cigarette, or, you know, whatever the case, you know, you have, your lungs have little kind of fibers called cilia, at a microscopic level, and they kind of sweep things. So, and then also, you know, your body's immune system, you know, like white blood cells, macrophages, stuff like that, can sometimes engulf stuff like that and break it down. I don't know about the metal. I would assume like through kind of the cilia sweeping action and coughing, you know, like especially a productive cough. That would be one way of kind of the body expelling some of that metal and oil. I would assume, you know, some of the oil, maybe like I said, kind of could be broken down right there and then, and kind of maybe taken away in your blood or your lymph system. But the metal, I assume regardless of what happens, there's still like some amount of metal and maybe even oil that just are going to remain in your lungs. And, you know, depending on how much you abused, like me, for example, you know, so much abuse of it, I guarantee you that I have quite a bit of scar tissue in my lungs. And I'm sure like the small alveoli that, you know, like increased surface area for your body to get the most oxygen from this. Sorry, I know this is turning into a science video, but I'll make this kind of quick. But, you know, with the pressurized gas and kind of just like the contaminants, I assume that like some of those like get destroyed or kind of disrupted, disfigured, I guess, better word. And you do lose some capacity. Like my lung capacity is not nearly as good as it used to be. Because I weightlift and I stay pretty active, I've gotten a lot better. But I still assume that there's still probably some leftover stuff and some scar tissue from it. So yeah, I don't know, I just want to make another video why, you know, I just have the inspiration. I appreciate everyone that commented. And then also the positive feedback of just like, you know, how some of these videos are helpful for others that are going through something similar. So, yeah, I definitely will have to make some more, I'll have to think of like some more niche things, I guess, regarding nitrous oxide or my experience. I know I made a handful of videos a while ago. But maybe I'll like, you know, maybe make some more and just kind of maybe possibly re-talk about some of it. But I don't know. I'll brainstorm later. So I need to go do chores. Today's chore day at the house. So I appreciate everyone that is watching. I appreciate everyone subscribing and liking and commenting. Helps a ton. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you guys next time.